Do, do, do. Greetings from the Executive Command. Hopefully, we are live. If there is anybody watching. Ah, excellent. Hi, Alex. At least it's working. What's the volume like? Because I've messed about with my sound and mic, and that should be better, hopefully. So we've got 2 viewings so far. Excellent. Good to hear. Nice to see that you're back from your trips into Europe. Looked like a nice time, so hope you had a good, restful time over there. Just wait to see how many people turn up, if any do. Perhaps I need to. I've got my iPad set up for the random draw, so I'm not sure what's going out on the YouTubes. So perhaps I should check the phone for that one. Let's have a look what's going on. Oh, 6 watching, so that's good. Ah, we don't want that sound coming up from there. So we've got a Carl, excellent, and a GB. Hiya, nice to see you. Oh, and then I lose the chat. Excellent. Get back up. Right, modern technology. Marvelous, isn't it? Anyway, oh, yep, it's come up on the chat here. Right, modern technology. Marvelous, isn't it? You get feedback now. So I've got I've got a mobile phone just there, and I've got an iPad just there. What a way to work. Anyway, what exciting things have people been doing? Because I know that Alex is working on bits and pieces, and I did a little bit of painting myself. I've got a little something different. Good evening, Neil. Wagons roll. Little Sarissa wagon, which is quite fun. And if we lean up to the top, God, that's a long way up. Any guesses what we're doing at some stage? Good evening, John. A little bit of Western stuff. Because it's either going to be Dead Man's Hand in the early part. Hi, Al. Or hi, all, Kasang. A little bit of Dead Man's Hand, or, depending on when it comes out, the What a Cowboy. Crossing Obstacles Gaming, good evening. Yeah. Have you played because you went along, didn't you, Alex, to the last Lardy Day, if I remember right? Did you play What a Cowboy, or did you see it? We'll see if we get reply from him. But yeah, so a little bit of Cowboys to be done. So I've been doing some research. I've watched. Not played it with good reviews. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's got a bit of fun with it, because they normally do their little skirmish games. So I've been doing my research. I've watched Django. That was interesting. Not seen that before. And back into the 1950 early 60s westerns. God, what terrible films. But it was quite good for me painting of my cowboys, which was quite good. I was pleased with that uh, as they're coming along. What else have we got coming along? I'm hoping tomorrow night to video a game of Congo. Um, I've we've played it twice now because we if you look back in the channel videos, you'll see that we did a series of Congo games, and we were just getting to start the campaign. Um, which one was it? There we go. The Mungo Mar Lobe, or Loba, Laba. Hallelujah Trail. Lots of factions for a skirmish. Yeah, so we were just about to start playing the campaign when COVID struck and dealt us that nasty blow. So we've had a couple of games of Congo, and I can report that we played the rules really badly over the last two games, but I've had another read through, and I think we've got it now. So we'll play a game tomorrow, and we'll try and get that video recorded and get a game up. Painting 8th Army at the moment for John. Yeah, I have on order now my Bishop self-propelled gun and my SPA. I think it's Don Vecchio Italian truck. So I've sent the shekels over to Paint and Glue, and he's going to sort them out and post them onto me. He only lives 14 miles up the road, so I could actually go and knock on his door again, but we'll let him post it because he's been a very busy man. So not only does he work full time, he does do his Paint and Glue company as well. So tries to fit a lot into his days. Planning your first bolt action force, trying to decide what I want to do. Ooh. Have you any ideas on what the force is that you want to do? Water. Hi, Dominic. I could say do Italians. They're a bit of a learning army, so perhaps not so good for the first up, but they're a bit of fun. Either some Winter Russians or Germans. Now, I'd say Germans because I hate the Russians in bolt action. But if you want an army that has lots of troops, lots of good vehicles, the options to take vehicles from the Lend-Lease, and you can have British, you can have American. It is pretty good. Howdy from Texas. Good day to you. That's very kind of you to say, because I wouldn't remember it, Alex. So Alex, we're in there. So if you are watching and hit the like button, that would be very much appreciated. Yeah. It's oh yeah, the iPad's died. Not died, but back we come. Ha. I wonder if that'll work now. Oh, it might do. Yeah. So just got to keep an eye on that one as well, as they tend to fall out. Yeah, the Italians are an interesting army. You've got a pick of army rules for them from the army book itself. You can then go Duel in the Sun, which covers the early part of the campaigns in the North African desert, and then you can move into Western Desert, which brings in changes to their army characteristics. There's quite a lot of different little changes in that one, and then you can go onto the Soft Underbelly, which has just come out, which changes the army characteristics again. So for the different campaigns, but you'd probably be better off with the Western Desert if you're going Italians for the moment. Would be Western Desert. So because it's got quite a nice little assortment of changes to the army rules. Because of course the big one in the standard is that as soon as you go 3 dice down, your leadership drops by -2 on tests, which is quite a little hard problem to deal with. So not people don't tend to run lots of the smaller teams for it. So what have we got? We've got 17 all people. Thank you very much, Green Dragon Games. Yeah, that was very nice to hit the 3,000. So it's ticking along nicely with that. Italians next on my list. Don't like the Germans. Yeah, it depends what you go for the Germans. They are an interesting one. But will you be doing bolt action or a chain of command? I do like to hedge my bets now, and I tend to build both for bolt action and for chain of command, hoping to find opponents in the local area that I can twist their arm to play chain of command. But it's the timing in the evening that is the limiter. So most people want to sort out their armies for bolt action, come along, set it up, play, and probably get a game done and dusted in about 2 to 2.5 hours for the evening at the game store. So chain of command tends to be done with myself and John when he's got a day off. Yep, bolt action. Yeah, I know. Chain of command. It is a very interesting rule set and plays the. What did they say? Playing the. There's a little phrase, isn't there? It's playing the. Alex, can you remember what it is, or anybody can remember it is? Because it talks about playing the army or the platoon as it was meant to be played. So you've got fire support and you've got movement, and it is a much more realistic, I think, as in war games playing the period, not the rules. Thank you, Alex. That was it. Absolutely that. And I do find that when I play Chain of Command, you do get much better feel, whereas your bolt action is a little bit more gung-ho Hollywood. Yep, that's it. That is it. Playing the period and not the game. So it depends what you're after, really, and depends what your mood takes you for the day within that. However, I have been playing, as I say, Congo for a while, for the last 3 games, and that has been great fun. I've got another bolt action Saipan battle coming up, our 3rd one, and I've got to attack a ridge with 4. Well, it should have had 4 big anti-tank guns, but Colin's only got 3, so that was a bonus for me. So I've got that one in the schedule to put up, and that's an interesting set of campaigns that we've been running on that. Yeah, tricky campaign system. Even more tricky trying to work out what the actual victory and objective points are. It's not particularly easy to keep track of it. I think we probably need to write them down and have a piece of paper stuck in front of us telling us what the objectives are, because you get the scenario. Bolt action needs an end of turn dice in the bag. Yeah, I think it does. I think it would be interesting to try with a little end of turn dice. That might do it. Yeah, we have we played a couple of games of O Group, and certainly I have enjoyed that. So one of the things on my painting table at the moment is the 15mm Blitzkrieg German, because I got the 1940s supplement from the O Group when it came out. So got to paint up the Germans next. I've got painted up the artillery, and I've got the panzers, the twos, and the 38Ts, and a couple of threes perhaps. Got a 4, certainly 4 with a short barrel. So yeah, got some of it together. Just got to paint the companies, which shouldn't take too long. They're fairly easy to do in the 15mm. So yeah, that'll be coming along. Yeah, we'll get some more O groups coming in, and then obviously off to Alex's Storm of Steel channel. If you haven't been there, join up with him, because he is a good little resource for the rules, and I shall be revisiting the chain of command. I'm halfway through the newer one, so yeah, good to refresh with the O group one, fresh to review it, to get your mind back around the rules. So yeah, they're a good little set of rules. I think they play nicely for what you want to do with the game, I think. And what else we will start again on our American Civil War painting up for the epic. We've had trouble finding a set of rules. We're not ever keen on black powder. We tried General Army for Napoleonic. We weren't overly keen on that one. So we've been struggling a little bit for American Civil War rules. But one of the guys played Pickett's Charge the other day and said that it worked very well. So I don't know if anybody else has had games with Pickett's Charge. I think they're fairly well established rules for the ACW, but we had never come across them before. Heard about them, but not picked them up to play them. So I think we'll give those a go. I might even be able to get the 10mm American Civil War that are painted up before deciding to paint up the epic ones. Regimental Fire and Fury. Yeah, I did play Fire and Fury many moons back, and we are talking many moons back. At least 20 years at least. I think we played them. But yeah. So I think the original was it higher level, the original Fire and Fury, and then we did play Johnny Reb as well, and that wasn't so bad. But you had to keep looking up for which sort of muskets you were using and how far they would fire, and whether they smooth bore and different effects. But yeah, that wasn't a bad game. But I think the guys at the club are looking to do Pickett's Charge, so we'll have a look at those and see how those go as they do. So 21, I think probably, as we're now in quarter of an hour in, and we may as well do the draw. Now I have hopefully set this up. Let's see if we can do this. Flying. God, where's the wires for this? Okay. Let's move that around. Is that fairly clear for people? I have loaded the comments. There were 102 comments, which was quite good. I was very pleased with that. So you are in with a shout for the dice. Oh, there they are. Some of the dice in there. As clear as a bell. Excellent. So here we go. Cool. I'm glad you're not actually in the room. Oh dear. I've just been gassed by one of the dogs. Good grief. Live broadcasting at its best. So here we go. Eyes down. As I say, I've loaded it up. So let's press the button. Oh, look at that. And Wardrobe Plays World War II is the lucky winner. All guaranteed to roll sixes. Now, funny you should mention that, Alex, that I do get a lot of grief when I use the black and white ones, because people do think that the six come up too soon and too often. But I've lost an awful lot of games as well. So I think they're just bad sports when they moan. Yep, so we've got that for Wardrobe Plays World War II. So we'll have to try and contact him on the system somehow. Back, yeah, I think that's the culprit. Ollie. Yeah, he looks guilty to me. The other one is a bit far away. So, yeah, I think it's the other one. He does have a channel, so yes, we should be able to contact him through that. Let's take a picture on the iPad so I don't forget. What else have we got? On other news, I don't know if anybody other people's partners moan about their hearing. And good evening, Modelling for Advantage. Are we talking to Johnny B, or are we talking to the Restless Kaiser? Because it could be one of the two. Yeah, I've missed the exciting bit. The winner was Wardrobe Plays World War II. Oh, there we go. Yeah, anybody else's other half complain about their hearing, and you think, well, no. So off we went for a hearing test today, and good evening, Kaiser. Then, yeah, off to the hearing test today, and then we've now been referred to the GP for loss of hearing in one of the ears. So we'll see how that goes. But it was an interesting little test, and a bit peculiar. I think I was hearing sounds before they actually came up, which I think I had just premonition of the sound, which seemed to work quite well. Yeah, my wife says it all the time. Yeah, yep. It's a thing when the daughter and the wife actually do say it, that I no longer hear what they say. And surprisingly, the loss of hearing is in the higher frequency range for speech. So I think it probably is that it stops me hearing them. The lower sounds I pick up really well, and they were really good, but obviously not such the higher end bracket. But there we go. So we'll hopefully get that sorted out. Years of going to metal concerts. I haven't been to too many. I've been to a few, but not too many. I did ride a motorbike for 20 years, so that could be the other part to it. I think that certainly works with some of the ailments that I've had in the joints from falling off motorbikes in the past. Yeah, the doctors did say at the time that you are likely to get problems with your knees and your hands after landing on them, and I think they were right. But we wouldn't have missed it. It was good fun with the old motorbike. Anything? I'm just trying to look around. Yes. Oh, yes. A little bit of a Christmas present that I had. Look at that. That looks exciting, doesn't it? It looks like I've got a 3D printer. I haven't, but my son-in-law has, and he did a little bit for me for Christmas. Well, What's in there? Bit of Christmas decoration. Yeah. So he's been doing a little bit of printing in his spare time because he was also printing a train and train track to run round his house, through the living room, through his dining room, into the hall, into the kitchen, then back into the dining room, into the living room. So yeah, a circuit going round, and he's got it to work. So he did work very hard. Can you tell what it is and where it's come from? Now, if you can, you will be a star, my son. That's better focus. Now, that's one of the first parts. Any takers for where it's come from? Next up. You are very close, Alex. You are very close. Oh, so another little of the terrain. There was something else. Now, where is it? What is it? It's packed it really, really small. Iona. Popcorn. There we go. Behive yourselves. Oh, the dad jokes come out really easily. It is, in fact, a dung heap. It is a dung heap. Here we go. Next one up. I wish I could remember what he did actually, did he? Asteroids. Hemorrhoids. No. That's one ailment I have never had, which is excellent news. However, we must get to the bottom of this. So, a little cart. Kudos, Alex. You get kudos. Right. So that was that bit. And then got to be careful with this one because it is a little bit fragile. And I've got to do a little bit of re-gluing. Yeah, a little bit of re-gluing on some of the legs. Good evening, Duncan. Hey, Rick. I think that's what they're called. Must glue those bits back on. And was there one more bit? No, that is a Hey Rick, and that will be painted in straw colour. Is that right? Straw colour for a Hey Rick? I think Hay's a bit greener. What's in here? A little village well. Yeah, give them a little clean up. So yeah, this is the start of. Oh yes, they will need a bit of basing. Well. Yes, good. I like the jokes. So yes, I don't know if anybody else backed it, But the Barons War, the last Kickstarter, the Death and Taxes, I think it is. I was looking for the rule book up above because I keep a lot of the rules up there. Let's so a few books, bit of terrain, and me rule books, the key rule books, but it's not up there. I think it's still in the box with the figures. So we went in for the Kickstarter, and they did a lot of STLs, or you could actually get the printed terrain features, and there's something like 4 medieval buildings, a medieval church, a blacksmith's, some sort of tree or a couple of trees in it, and more of the terrain, village terrain. So I went for that. Not having a 3D printer, I thought, yeah, somebody will get one at some stage, and I'll talk them into printing them out for me. So that seemed to work. So I'm hoping that now Christmas is over, that it'll free him up to get a few more of these bits and pieces printed off, because they are very nice, and they'll get them printing up and start work on the Barons War, on the Kickstarter 2 figures and Kickstarter 3. Kickstarter 2 was more men at arms and a couple of sergeants, some sergeants and retainers. But what I'm looking to do is 2 factions. When I went on holiday up to Northumberland, there was 2 parishes, and each of them had different lords of the manor, or manor areas, and they were at loggerheads for generations. So it gave me sort of a little impetus to look at doing it that way. So don't need too many of them. So that was the Kickstarter 2 built on the first one. I've got a few bits from that. And then the third Kickstarter was this Death and Taxes, and it was more or less Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham, for want of a better word, which was really good. So I've got a set of outlaws, and I've got more of the sheriff's men, more or less, and you get some of the Holy War Knights who have come back, and some of the Templars. So yeah, that should be fun. Got some of those to paint up for this year for the project. Quite a few little bits. yeah, dung heaps for the win. That's what it is. Might have to have a couple of dung heaps, I suppose. And next up, it'll be trying to get hold of proper scaled cows and pigs. I do think they did pigs in the terrain set. I'm sure they did. Now, I'll have to have a look at that. Back in and have a look at that within it. So yeah, projects seem to be maybe growing already. Well, it's not. It's just things to finish off again. Like last year's projects were all planned. Well, all the ones that weren't surprise ones were planned anyway. So we've got a few things to do. Is anyone going to, what was it called, Hammerhead at Newark on March the 5th? Is when it is, because we'll be going up from Lost Ark Games with our Operation Sea Lion Ring the Bell game, which went down quite well at Selway. So we're going to take the game up to Hammerhead at Newark. So that should be fun. Excellent. Are you going to be wandering around, Alex, or are you going to be running anything? Because if you're just running around having a look at things, you could play your first game of bolt action. Yes, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Because that's what we're playing with the participation game is the bolt action rules. But I've now got an ulterior motive while I'm up there is to look at um, some American Civil War 28 mil. Yep, grab me for an interview. Grab us for a game if you have the time. There's a little bit of fun. Yeah, so the American Civil War. I started the 28 mil some time ago. I don't know if you remember when the battle box came out from Perry's, the plastics. And I bought the battle box and I painted up both sides, but I didn't like the plastic figures, so they went by the by, and we started playing Rebels and Patriots, or Patriots, whichever. So we started playing that. So I got the British Intervention Force, and I got the Perry metal figures, and did a force of those, and I like those. So I do like to have both sides, just in case a friend comes here, or it's somebody new who's going to start, so I can put the game together and we can play it. So I wanted the Union Force, so managed to get that just before Christmas last year. Now we're a year on, and then painted up them. So I've got the Union, but I now want to do the Confederates at some stage this year. So I've been looking around to see what figures to get, and I did Crusader for the Union, and they were nice, but I think for the Confederates, I want to do something a little bit more higgledy-piggledy, and figures that have a little bit more character in their poses and the units, just to reflect the sort of nature as the Confederates were, with their lack of getting supplies as the wars went on. So we've been looking at figures for those, and I think it might well come down to a choice between Dixon and Foundry. So I'm hoping when we go to the Hammerhead that there may be Dixon figures to have a look at and Foundry figures to look at. See whether they can mix and match, or whether they're too far apart. But both of the ranges look to have the sort of figures and the poses that I'm after for the Confederates. So that'll be somewhere along the line to do the Confederates, and certainly before March, I've got to paint up with an end of turn dice in the bag. It doesn't need it, this one, the way that we're playing it, because we've tinkered with it. It's not straight bolt action. It's got a few twists and turns in it. So when I have a game down at Lost Ark, I'll try it with John, because he's always up for something different as well. So we'll try it with John and see what he thinks. But I think it could be quite a useful one. Whether you put in one dice that changes it, or whether you put in two dice and it comes up on the second. Because I don't know if you've played the plastic Perry ones. A lack of detailing on the plastic figures, particularly belts and cross belts as well, and some of the bayonet bits, not good detail in the plastics. Whereas normally in the metals, the detail is a bit more easy. It's just really for painting purposes, because I like to be able. It's easier to pick out the detail in metal rather than the plastics, which I don't find such a problem with the Warlord plastics, because the Warlord plastics are bigger figures than the Perry plastics. So swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Yeah, they, as an army, they looked okay, but it wasn't what I wanted. How they came out. So we'll do we'll go for the metals at an astronomical price, no doubt. But we'll do that in bits and pieces. But so back for the March game, I've got. I really do need to. Really do need. I would like to. There we are. We give ourselves priorities, don't we, as needs. But I've got painted up the Warlord Dad's Army figures, and that was the first batch that they made, and they're very nice, but they're on the Slaughter bases, and they're a bit bigger, and the bases don't fit in quite so well with the rest of the Home Guard, because I'm using some of the First Corps Home Guard, and they're quite chunky. John, well done. Good evening. Somebody's talking about playing bolt action and having an end of turn dice in the bag, and I thought we could try it out. So, rambling back to the dice, if you play muskets and tomahawks, in fact, the musket and tomahawks company, the French company, they use a system of 3 cards for their end of turn. So the first one comes out and it doesn't do anything. Second one comes out, I think it has an effect, can't remember what it was. And then the third one comes out and that ends the game or the turn. I can't remember. We played that twice before the lockdown came as well. Good evening, Andrew, and good evening, the friends of General Haig. So we might play. I said we might do bolt action with having the end of turn dice in it, John. So the first one comes out, doesn't affect, and then pull a second one out, and it ends a turn. Might be interesting to see how it affects it. Within that. So yeah, so I've got some Home Guard to paint up. They are very nice, the Foundry Home Guard. So yeah, Sharp Practice does, and Chain of Command does. Yeah, certainly do. Yeah, it might be a little bit different with the dice coming out there. Now I've got to remember where I've put the. Now I've thought about it, I've got to think about where I've put the Home Guard stuff. The Foundry figures. It's going to be in one of 2 drawers. I've just ordered a book, as you do, for the Home Guard. It's what's it called? We Remember the Home Guard, and a couple of people were mentioning it on Twitter that it's a good little book for a bit of a reference and that. Yeah, for the dice. Yeah, you're not guaranteed to get all your dice out. Although the way that the randomness of the dice works in bolt action, you've got a fair bit of randomness anyway, haven't you? Certainly have. Okay, then take care, Alex, and good night to yourself, and catch you at another date, and we'll have to sort out another evening joint one. So take care and speak to you soon. Yes. Yeah. So a little Home Guard book coming. Have a browse through that. So Yeah, yeah, grandfather. My wife's father. He did a bit of ARPing up in London, uh, and then he joined up, and then went across uh, into Europe as they advanced across Normandy, and then the Low Countries, and then into Germany. He went across with them. He was doing something in radar or some other bits and pieces. Wasn't very clear on what he was doing, but yeah, he did participate in that. He was rather, I say, he was elderly, an elderly father, and he was born in 1905, uh, and then he tells us about watching the Gotha bombers in World War I coming over London. So yeah, memories of that. So all that going because not so many people alive now as the times go by. Anyway, what have we got? I think probably I've got to go and sort out the other dogs. he, he doesn't look like he needs sorting out, does he? Look at him. Yeah, zonked away on the armchair. But the other ones will start kicking up in a little while. Oh, there he is. His eyes opened. You can see him. Not totally out of it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me and watching and having a chat. I see Antonio's just coming in, just when we're going out. But yep, Wardrobe Plays World War II was the winner of the dice. So I shall get in contact with him and we'll be sending the dice off to him. Uh, so I can imagine the next giveaway, because I tend to do them every 500, we'll be looking at 3,500. Who knows when that will come up? Uh, we shall see, and we'll have to have a see what we might have in store. But anyway, a few things to come up on the channel. We might have a little terrain building bits. Certainly have another battle report coming up, and certainly look at trying to record Congo tomorrow and get that out. Get that out as a little gaming as well. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and take care, and see you all soon.